age-old question.
Oh my god, what the fuck is our intro? Hi, everybody.
Welcome. You're listening to Lost Legions.
This is the Lost Legions podcast. I'm Jason.
This is Pete.
No. Hi,
It's
everybody. I'm
literally
Jason.
hello. Yeah.
And then I'm Pete, and this is Echo.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm fucked. Hi, everybody. This is Jason.
And this is Pete.
And welcome to the Lost Legions podcast. And today, we have some special guests for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce our new friends? Well, our old friends. I mean,
some
maybe
friends.
we just paid them to be here.
Yeah, some friends. We have Will. Say hi, Will.
Hey, everybody.
AKA the Destroyer. And we have Ian.
Hello.
AKA the man with the hands. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us, gents. Today, we will be interviewed by Jason, the three of us, essentially, from a Primarchs VS Dreadnoughts game that went down at SummerSlam a couple of weeks ago now, wasn't it? Which was an interesting thing. So, yeah, to get things going then, Jay, do you want to ask us a little bit about what it was all about?
So I don't know anything about this. I was unfortunately not able to attend this little event, and what I know of it is there was a steel cage match between a bunch of Primarchs and a bunch of Dreadnoughts. So these gentlemen all took place in it, and I want to know what happened. So why don't we start off with generally, what was the premise of the fight? What happened? Like, who the fuck came up with this, by the way?
Well, it was me who came up with it. I mean, I'm not like the founder of the Primarch fighting cages, but the
humble brag by Pete.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a couple episodes back, wasn't it? I was like, we need to do. Yeah, I'm doing that at SummerSlam. Primarchs versus Dreadnoughts. Let's see. And I was like, I reckon Dreadnoughts are far more broken than Primarchs. Blah blah blah. So
Broken. Interesting
turn of words. Yeah. So I thought it'd be worth playing this out, and especially with many beers flowing through the 12 of us, or however many that took part.
100 Coronas and everything else. It was the perfect time.
So before you guys started, did any of you think that the Dreadnoughts were going to win this round?
Just to be clear, only one person thought differently to anyone else. Only one
Only
person.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Vocally,
That
anyway.
person.
But he was passionate. He was like,
He was very.
he was like, there is zero point us even doing this because there's only going to be one outcome.
Yeah, Mega Chad versus Mega Chad.
All right, well, I guess let's hold the outcome then.
Yeah.
Let's set the scene, though. What did you guys do? What was the setup? How was it played? What were the sides?
So the sides were. This is pre-Horus Heresy esque. So all the Primarchs are goodies. They're all friends. They're all fighting together.
Yeah.
And they land in the most dastardly of jungles, the jungles of Bakar. Which is
A
the border
death
we were using.
world, they say.
Of that I am certain. And then we made a ring of Primarchs in the middle, and then worked out the points for those, and made a ring of Dreadnoughts around the outside, roughly 12 inches away. It was very vague.
Yeah.
We then rolled off a priority, which was Primarchs rolled a 7, so the Dreadnoughts struggled to beat that, and we commenced from there.
Well,
I don't know.
So, well, let's go through what Primarchs were actually there and what Dreadnoughts were actually there.
Okay, cool. So we had Angron, Lorgar, Lion, Fulgrim, Dawn, and Horus.
The ultimate Saturday night.
The boy band.
Because we also had Alfaris as well. So we had
Alfaris as well.
7 Primarchs against, give or take, about 18 probably Dreadnoughts.
Alfaris.
Was it 18?
They're about 2.5 to 1, wasn't it? Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. 18, 20 odd Dreadnoughts. But there was a very diverse cast of Dreadnoughts. So we had Daradeos, Contemptors, and
there was even
Hexaferum pattern Dreadnoughts as well.
So a token box knot, wasn't it? It was great.
Which is, if you speak to some Primarchs in yellow, are very difficult to kill. So we did a really good job killing them.
You mean the one in gold, I think, right?
I mean, gold and yellow.
Yeah. Or silverish sometimes.
So what happened? Like when you started off, like
Well, I need to say something here. So the scene was set for. I've probably spent like half an hour trying to get everyone roped into it, trying to convince Giles to put down his Horace because he was about to play a game with Rob. He's like, "You've got him until turn 2 when he deep strikes in, until he gets teleported out of here." I was like, "Come on!" I went and got Fulgrim from the loft. It was about to start. And I was like, "James, do you want a drink?" He's like, "Yeah." "Ian, do you want a drink?" "Will, do you want a drink?" It was like 3 or 4 of us like, drink. So I go make some cocktails. And then I come back outside, and I think Ian, like I interrupted you a moment ago, what had happened in the opening scene?
We decided that the Primarchs were going first. To level the playing slightly, we allowed no reactions from either side.
Advanced reactions.
Advanced reactions, yeah, if they wanted them, but it was just general, let's get stuck in straight away. Shooting is for the weak.
Because what we really wanted to see was, what you guys really wanted to see from what I could tell was, could the 7 Primarchs take what the 18 Contemptors? Like, could it actually happen?
Yeah. They were all set up in a boy band in the centre, and I think Will was like, "It's King of the Hill. The Primarchs aren't allowed to leave the centre. They got to hold their ground." I come back out with a handful of cocktails, and like, the Primarchs have dispersed from the centre. Each one is like solo base to base with a Dreadnought, because all of the Dreadnoughts were within charge range turn 1. So like all but like one of the Primarchs was in combat. I think did Dawn fail a charge or something?
Dawn didn't quite get that.
It was just they were like shoulder to shoulder, like into them. They're just charging these Dreadnoughts. I was like, came back out, I was like, what the?
So turn 1, the Primarchs go pew, and they'll fight all fighting Primarchs. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dawn stood there and said, "Boys, this is the plan." And then as soon as contact with the enemy,
literally,
straight out.
He did he issued the Imperial Fist movement reaction, the once per game movement reaction, essentially, to all of the Dreadnoughts.
So, the end of turn 1 is any Primarch down?
No. So Angron went in and just eviscerated a Contemptor, quite literally.
So if we go around your way,
Alfarius went in. He did like 4 wounds to a Contemptor, which then hit back and did 4 wounds to him.
Right.
So it was like,
this isn't going to plan.
Lorgar went in. Lorgar
was surprisingly good. Yeah, because he has a brutal 2 Morning Star or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Oh right.
Whatever it's making.
And
absolutely clubbed to death Contemptor. 1 round?
Callum wasn't surprised.
I think he got it down to. I think he got it down to one wound, but the Contemptor failed to hit him on its return attacks.
Yeah.
Not Russ.
Dawn.
Dawn. Well, he was still calculating. You know what I mean? Planning and so forth. Putting together a plan. The Lion just went in and just carved a Leviathan in 2. Just like
absolutely
from shoulder to groin.
Murdered it.
See ya. Yeah. Fulgrim went in and was like, I think I've bitten off more than I can chew here.
He went into Leviathan as well, right?
Yeah. Leviathan as well, yeah.
But I think the Leviathan maybe hit him once.
The Lion.
3 up Jink.
Yeah.
3 up.
In Thunder.
3 up Jink, yeah.
But the Lion took out a Contemptor that was in base to base with Dreadnought, didn't he? Do you remember you put all of your wounds in, the Lion charged 2 Contemptors. One of the Contemptors was in combat with Fulgrim, and you put was it? Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. Yeah. But it was
so then Fulgrim did a little bit.
Yep.
Then we carry on round to
the Horus.
Horus plubbed one to death.
Yeah. But
just a Contemptor.
Yeah, so what I'm getting is the ones that were struggling were Alfarius, and Dorn wasn't in there yet.
Fulgrim really struggled.
Yeah, Fulgrim was struggling yet.
Alfarius just got unlucky, and the Contemptor got lucky, so it was kind of a switcheroo. Horus, I think, took 2 wounds in that first round of combat because his mace, his World Breaker, is unwieldy. So the Contemptor, I think, got a hit, and took like a wound or 2. Generally speaking, it was looking really good for the Primarchs. Really good. Right.
It was 50% killed the first round, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the other ones were almost out of the game.
Yeah.
But
So then what happened? We move on to the next round. At this point, you guys are all rooting for the Primarchs, I'm assuming.
I was pro Dreadnought the whole way through this. I really want the Dreadnoughts to win, especially when Rob was so adamant the Primarchs were going to win. I was like, well, I want to prove you wrong. I think this could
Oh, you
win.
just spoiled it!
I didn't say anything. I said, I want to prove you wrong. I didn't give away an answer.
No, in the beginning, but Ian was saying there was one person who was...
I'm sure you won't mind.
Yeah.
And then, so you got like 12 unengaged Dreadnoughts then activate, don't they? Essentially, like, now we go in.
Then turn 2, Angron has just eviscerated his one, and he just gets jumped by 3 Dreadnoughts, a Leviathan and 2 more Contemptors.
Takes a wound to Hammer of Wrath.
Yeah, gets body checked, and then gets shot, like, does like a few wounds being charged in. And then this Leviathan and these 2 Contemptors just all charge in. I think he kills one and does a few wounds to another, and then just the Gravis Power Fists just
Basically, they pulled him into like a wishbone. They just pulled him in half.
Okay. I think it was like 4 or 5 hits between.
So Angeron's the first Primarch down.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just gets crumped. Alfarius kills the Dreadnought he's in combat with, so he's fine. One of the Contemptors goes to help his brother, the Lorgar's clubbing to death. Lorgar then activates his witch powers and proceeds to then kill both Contemptors. Just whatever, bro.
Flip the switch. Yeah.
Dawn's still doing the math. Do you know what I mean? Checking the stone. Like, a fine.
I think Lorgar got charged by a Contemptor and the Box Dread, killed both Contemptors because Box Dreads are hilarious. And then that's when Dawn knew his time had come. Yeah. He was ready to step up.
So at that point, like the explosion happens behind him, and he steps up and joins the fray.
Well, when he's still waiting till his turn. He's
kind of. It's like on Shaun of the Dead when Simon Pegg turns to Nick Frost, and Nick Frost goes like, "Which one do you want in the garden? Do you remember?" And Simon's like, "Do you want the bloke?" He's like, the other one, like for the girl." And it's basically how Dom's like, "I'll take the Castaferum, please." You guys fight the Leviathans. I'll take the Castaferum.
Yeah,
that's good.
The Lion then just does a 90-degree turn and just puts his sword straight through the Leviathan that Fulgrim's trying to take like a selfie with. Just
hey, come on!
Shoulder to groin, just like boom, out of here. Horus then, I think he takes a wound and clubs this other Contemptor to death.
Fulgrim was trying to find the sex butt attachment and just couldn't.
Quite literally, yeah.
He was trying to plug in.
Yeah. And that was
round 1.
That was in a turn 1. Yeah. So it's looking at that point, it's looking pretty good. 1 Primarch down. More Dreadnoughts down.
Okay, so I'm guessing. I'm actually thinking. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I actually think that Team Contemptors are going to start pulling ahead here with the rate that you're saying that these guys are dying, and the only one who's slaughtering them is the Lion. And let me be honest, you don't have the man, Russ, there.
So we were saying the whole way through, if Russ was there, it would be completely different.
It'd be raining Dreadnoughts.
Exactly, and if Ferris was there, it would be you'd have to triple the points because he would just kill 2 a turn. Easy.
Russ and Ferris were handling the 3,000 points by themselves in a different arena. That was the winner's circle. This was the B team. So,
this is the qualifiers. This is just the qualifiers.
Although to be fair, I think the Lion would be on the A team, so he just showed up to pull the B team through. Okay, so what happened then? Like we go into round 2, and you guys have lost a Primarch. Couple of Dreadnoughts have gone down. People have some wounds on them. Where are we now? How goes Alfarius?
So getting rid of Angron he's probably the most dangerous alongside the Lion. So like 2 Contemptors and a Leviathan bullying him was like, okay, maybe they have a chance now. Yeah. Alfarius then like unsheaths the Pale Spear with Dreadnought Ichor all over it, and just spears a Leviathan to death, just straight through the hole.
Yeah.
Lorgar. So then Dawn joins. I think Dawn joins Lorgar at this point. Ian?
Dawn charges into the Box Dread.
Yeah.
And handily dispatches him. 5-ish wounds of absolute mook monster.
Yeah.
Dawn easily kills him.
Yeah. Lorgar steps aside and says, "Brother, please."
I think Lorgar might have used a power of some description. I can't. Maybe something. He did a thing.
Because you got the outer ring of dreadnoughts is now broken up into squads of dreadnoughts almost, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So the dreadnought players are now tactically, they're just they're isolating the Primarchs a lot more easily and like picking the Primarch fights. So some of the Primarchs have like 2 feet to travel to help out on certain fights and stuff.
How many dreadnoughts do you have now?
Probably about
Still
10,
like
12. Yeah.
Of which 3 are probably Leviathans, 3 or 4
cyclonic
Leviathans.
lancers.
Yeah.
So going around the circle, Dawn charges in, kills the Pox Dread. The Lion does few wounds to another Leviathan fighting. So there's sort of a triple melee with Horus, Fulgrim, and the Lion all in one area.
Yeah.
So they had like 4 Leviathans and a couple of Contemptors that they were fighting. The Lion kills a pair. One of them gets killed by Horus, and then the Lion charges in to help Fulgrim again, or Fulgrim Horus. But because those 3 are unengaged at the top, after killing Angron, it's just a matter of time before all of the ones that we just killed are now just replenished. So the Lion...
It sounds like the Primarchs have no problem, except for Fulgrim, you're saying, really killing them. It's that they're just going to take a massive amount of damage from these brutal 3 fists.
Yeah,
it's the brute. It's as we talking about in 1.0. We wish there was a version of brutal, because then the vehicle and monstrous creature wouldn't be such a disparity. And now they've brought it in. Great, you can kill a dreadnought, and all your fancy characters are also just dead. So it was like, oh, okay, giveth and taketh. Then we kill a few more. So let's say 8 dreadnoughts left at the end of round 2 for the Primarch.
And then have any other Primarchs dropped at this point?
So the Leviathan that punches Horus puts Horus down to 1 wound.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
One.
So Alpharius and Horus are flagging, but both standing at this point in round 2. The only one to drop is Angeron.
Yeah.
And the Lion gets punched and takes... I think he halves, so he goes down to like 3.
Yeah.
Then we all do our It Will Not Die, and then I think Horus got a wound back, so he went back to 2.
Yep.
Which was pretty handy.
Did he get Medivac, didn't he?
No, so then round 2 Dreadnoughts happens, and
the big thing at this point is a lot of the Primarchs aren't engaged.
Yeah.
So the shooting from all the Dreadnoughts starts to actually chip wounds off. Do a few here, do a few there. Alpharius has killed a Contemptor, and he gets shot by a Leviathan with a cyclonic smoke bomb. Teleports over to the other side.
Using his advanced reaction, he teleports out.
Yeah.
And then scatters back towards one of the other Leviathans. And the brother just he just turns inexorably and it's just like a snake.
I like how Will always puts the narrative in his description of what happens.
Just slowly turns and just a snake.
Cooking up that cyclonic lance.
And just fires like 5 rounds into him, drops him down to a wound, I think, and then I think he kills him on Hammer of Wrath. I think he charges in, does 3 Hammer of Wrath because he's a Leviathan, and just body checks him to the ground. Right.
And then Alpharius is out.
Alpharius is out.
Right, so the end of round 2, you have Alpharius out. You said Horus was out, right?
He's on 2 wounds. He's on 2.
Horus is on 2 wounds. Angron's already dead.
Yeah.
And everyone else is hanging in there but wounded.
Yeah. And we're about 7 or 8 Dreadnoughts left at this point.
Yeah. But at the end of turn 2, we get a message from the Vengeful Spirit. Horus gets beeped up and flies down to a battlefield near you on Giles and Rob's table. Who you can hear about that story on
another podcast.
On a different podcast.
On the Merchant Princes.
Or even another one as well.
Possibly. Horus gets taken away, and lucky for us, gets replaced with the first dead Primarch, Angron. But we still use the rules for Horus because obviously they're friends.
Yeah.
So you basically just subbed him in. You continued him, and the model flew away.
Just give him a new paint job.
Yeah.
The Dreadnoughts then got slightly slapped by the Primarchs, and this was the real turning point.
Okay, so what is the turning point? We don't even, we kind of have an idea of what's going on, and we've done a little blow by blow. So let's go to the next major thing that happens, and we're going to go probably from deaths from here. So what happens next?
This is turn 3, isn't it?
This is turn 3. The Lion swings, fails to kill Fulgrim and his plaything, gets punched back, dies. The
lion dies.
The lion is
Lion's out.
Oh no!
Then,
So the big heavy hitter is down now.
and then heavy hitter number 2, Forrest, charges up his super slow, unwieldy club.
We have another guest speaker here. Can't be in the video. You gotta go.
So he charges up his club, and the Leviathan very politely thanks him for letting him go first at initiative 4.
Dots his hut.
Shins Horus, aka Angron, aka Horus.
Okay, wait. So how many Primarchs are we down now? We're down
3
4.
Primarchs down.
3. Okay.
Oh, sorry, yeah, and
4.
the snake, yeah. 4 are down.
And Alfaris. The 4 are down. There's 3 standing. And roughly how many Dreadnoughts?
6.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'd look at like Rob's prediction that everyone had thought the Primarchs were going to win, but Rob. Okay. So it seems like I'm now leaning towards the Dreadnoughts winning, and I actually wasn't in the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens?
Rob,
what's the next major movement? What happens next?
Just to be clear, Rob thought the Primarchs were going to win.
Okay.
Everyone else thought the Dreadnoughts were going to win.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, I had it backwards.
Everyone.
In fact, Rob was like, "I'm not going to play. It's like pointless to play. The Primarchs have it in the bag. The Primarchs have it in the bag. I know the outcome."
I thought the Primarchs were going to win, but then again, I played Rust, so fucking. Right.
Lorgar, in amongst all of this, Lorgar fails a 4-inch charge. Have we mentioned that?
This was the turn. He runs over to help Dawn, who's struggling with a slight tree or a small rock, and
So
tries to run over.
Dawn was not impressive, basically, is what you're saying.
Well, but then Dawn charges in to 2 Dreadnoughts, who handily kills both of them. Luckily, because they were on 1. Because I think Lorgar had wounded some, and other things had gone on. And so I think we're now probably down to 2 Primarchs?
Give or take. But the big
I
thing
think
is,
Lorgar dies.
Yeah. So I think it's 3 Primarchs left. You got no. Horus is dead, and it's just Fulgrim and Dawn left.
Yeah. Not sure. How did Lorgar die?
And how
Lorgar
many
as well. Actually, Lorgar as well. But the big thing is now there's like a divide. So the 3 Dreadnoughts that had killed Angron, killed Alfarius, are all about 20 inches away. So they start trudging towards them, just shooting them, trying to get in. And that's when it really like turned, because in one turn, in the Dreadnought turn 3, I think Lorgar dies to shooting. Fulgrim's still prancing around, like singing poetry, serenading this Leviathan, like showing him just the elegance of the blade, but only doing a wound. While this Leviathan is just like punching him repeatedly and just missing.
Well, that Leviathan killed Horus and the lion. The Fulgrims are like, "Hey, bro, we could be friends," but it's not going to go well.
Why can't
Leviathan, they say.
I told you I was better than my brothers.
The beauty of the blade, the eloquence of it, truly a sight to behold.
More tea.
And then another Leviathan comes wading in, and just finishes off Fulgrim. Yeah, just
tired of his shit and just finishes him. Okay.
I've just had
crushed,
Lord Sire. Yes. So it's just Dawn left against like 3 or 4 Dreadnoughts. Right.
So it was at the very end. It's Dorn versus, you said, 3 or 4 Dreadnoughts.
Yeah. I think 2 Leviathans and 2 Contemptors. Yeah.
How does it end?
How do you think, Jason?
I think Dawn, in an amazing act of savagery, pulls it out and slashes these guys down, and the Imperium wins. And it's like, he's like the Predator, he pulls the spine out the end, and he's like, "Rah! For Terra!" Right? No, he fucking dies like a little bitch screaming, right?
He lowers his sword and he goes, "Brothers, finally someone heroic enough to stand on the wall and defend with me." Kicking his dead Primarch brothers aside. Yeah, he gets his shit kicked in hard.
We all wished he had Sigismund's murderous strike blade. Blade, because then he's actually, instead of being like, I'm strength 10, cool man, doesn't do anything.
How many dreadnoughts are left at the end when Dorn goes down?
3. I think it was nearly 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
3.
It's like 800 to 1,000 points of dreads.
It was definitely 2 Leviathans and a Contemptor. There might have been another one, like one-legged, like peg leg, like pulling himself along, like,
there's
we got him on the ropes.
2 Leviathans.
Bill.
2 Leviathans and kind of 2 dreads left. Okay, so the dreadnoughts win, and the Imperium's finest fall.
Yeah.
What are you guys' takeaways from this? I'm just kind of curious because I think at this point you've learned some things about Contemptors and Leviathans and the Primarchs in general. What impressed you about what Primarch, and what impressed you about what Dreadnought? Let's just start around. We'll go around. Pete, what were your takeaways?
The biggest thing, I thought the Dreadnoughts would do it, and the Dreadnoughts did it with every Primarch having the option of a turn 1 charge not being shot at, right? So it was quite a decisive Dreadnought win when you factor that in. The biggest thing that stood out individually for me was probably the Lion was pretty darn good at taking out Dreadnoughts. And he felt like he could take a bit of a battering as well, though, which was quite cool.
He felt quite like the Lion as well. He was like, "I'll just take everybody on. It's fine."
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
quite cool.
That was good. And Dreadnoughts wise, I don't think there's anything that specifically stood out, really. Just the Power Fists were like very, very much on show of how, and they've all got options to them, right? So it was just like, this is pretty darn crazy how good they are.
Yeah.
About yourself, Will.
So yeah.
Sorry, did you have something?
Because the Dreadnoughts are only getting like 1 hit at a time, 2 if they're lucky, but because the fists...
So the weapon skill makes a big difference here.
Of course, so yeah.
Okay.
So because all the Dreadnoughts are hitting everything on 5s, all it takes is a couple of good rolls to get 2 or 3 hits from a Leviathan or even a Contemptor, and it's like 6 wounds, 9 wounds, because of the like brutal 3 on the fist. So suddenly they're not hitting much, but every hit they do is got such weight to it.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Primarchs, only a few of them, like Angron specifically, the Lion, Horus as well, even to a degree, Lorgar, when they hit and wound, they're doing D3 wounds, but they're not taking as many saves.
Yeah.
So
this is because they have instant death on their weapons.
Yeah, opposed to brutal and then instant death or something. So what we were saying about if Russ was there, he's got brutal 2 and murderous strike.
Yeah. That's why he's just going to
brutal 3, I think.
Yeah. Brutal 2 and
Russ is 2. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Varus is 3.
Versus brutal 3, strength 12 with like 6 or 7 attacks. So
yeah, those guys are just great at killing Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
So was there anything about the Primarch that surprised you, though, about these 2.0 Primarchs that you kind of picked up from this, Will?
Lorgar's really tough. Lorgar is... I think, of course, we all rag on Lorgar, but actually, really good.
He also...
Really cool.
He seemed good because we underestimated him and just put 2 Contemptors and a Box Dread over there. Yeah, because it was it's Lorgar's side of the circle. Who cares? Yeah. And then he just dealt with them almost no problem. It was very cool.
That's cool.
Dawn's wounding him on no less than a 4. Is that right?
Yeah, Dawn was actually.
That was actually
now. Yeah.
decent.
He was kind of tanky.
Yeah.
Even when we were like shooting him with like cyclonics and melters and assault cannons and everything, like he was the last one there because he's actually pretty survivable.
Yeah.
Because you're only wounding him on 4s.
Yeah. And he's got the same save and invul as like pretty much everybody else. and suddenly he's actually quite annoying to get rid of. But just his output in relation to the Dreadnought was so much less than the others.
Yeah.
And kind of like weighed itself out.
What about you, Ian? What were your takeaways about the Dreadnoughts and then about the Primarchs?
I'll start with Primarchs. So the thing that shocked us about Lorgar, like we keep saying, is that he actually dealt damage because he has Brutal, which is why Ferris and Russ would just be crazy. But the problem with Primarchs is that the Dreadnoughts have this basic combat weapon that's high strength, AAP, and Brutal. Perfect. And then the Primarchs don't have as a standard. Like, why are they not all Brutal too? In my opinion.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
So if they're fighting we'll go back to Siggy because he's still Eternal Warrior. Your instant death or murderous strike or whatever you've got from the Lion. Cool, I'm wounding you on 2s with Fleshbane. Brilliant. And all of these are murderous strike. So you don't get feel no pain. That's it. But it's still 1 wound at a time. But then a Dreadnought runs in and goes strength 9, so you're not getting any feel no pain. Punch, 1 hit goes through. If you fail all 3 invuns, you're just dead.
Yeah.
And that's that's one potential attack. And it's I don't mind it from Dreadnoughts because they should be pretty cool and they are pretty good. But the flip side of it is it's really nice now because I won't mind running the Lion or Vulcan in any game because they are not points efficient, in my opinion, at all.
No.
Oh, as a Dreadnought.
So like I could take 2. So my list now, if I don't take the Lion, it's a Leviathan and a couple of laser destroyers for the same points, and they're interacting turn 1. They're killing everything they shoot at. You can't shoot at them because there's so many shots being returned, especially from the Leviathan.
Yeah.
And you don't get much for your Primarch, which is great. I love that because going to an event where named character thing, brilliant. There's Russ on that table. He's fighting against Fulgrim. Cool, they're going to have a massive smash up boyfriend fight. And then the more competitive or more cost efficient units on different tables, they'll be able to punch each other to death, and that'll be fine. So happy that they're not crazy anymore.
Well, it sounds like you guys.
They're not.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Like go ahead.
So they're crazy, but not as crazy as you could do.
There's more tools in the box to deal with multiple wound models now, so there's that, right? And it just transfers over from Dreadnoughts to Primarchs quite easily. And as you say, Primarchs can't shoot back. They can't shoot back as effectively as a dual cyclonic Metal Lance Leviathan, right? So you're not afraid to shoot them.
Well, it sounds like you guys all had a really good time, and it sounds like it was fun, and you guys actually learned a lot about the game from it, like smashing these Contemptors into the Primarchs. And yeah, thanks for joining us and talking about this. This was awesome. We'll have to have you guys on again soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.